What if the old 1974 half-dollar hiding inside a forgotten drawer is carrying a silent story from one of America's most emotional decades? Most people see this coin and instantly ignore it. Just another old American half-dollar, just another face of President John F. Kennedy staring back from faded silver-colored metal. But the moment you hold this coin under a light, something feels different, something heavy. Something connected to history, loss, power, and memory. Because this was not simply money. The 1974 Kennedy half-dollar was part of an America still emotionally recovering from one of the most shocking moments in modern history. And hidden inside this coin are details millions of people spend their entire lives without noticing. Look closely at Kennedy's face, then slowly turn the coin over. On the back, the powerful eagle spreads its wings beneath the words United States of America. It almost feels like the coin is trying to say something. But what exactly was America trying to preserve inside this half-dollar? That is where the mystery truly begins. The story starts more than a decade before this coin was minted. In 1963, President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. The news shocked the entire United States. People cried in their homes, in restaurants, on city streets, and even inside schools. America suddenly felt uncertain and emotionally wounded. The government wanted to honor Kennedy quickly, so officials decided to place his portrait onto the half-dollar coin almost immediately after his death. When the Kennedy half-dollar first appeared in 1964, Americans rushed to collect it. Many people refused to spend the coin at all. Some hid rolls of them inside closets and family safes. Others carried a single Kennedy half-dollar for luck and remembrance. It stopped feeling like ordinary currency. It became emotional. And by 1974, that emotional connection still had not disappeared. But here is the strange part most people never think about. Even though millions of 1974 half-dollars were produced, many barely circulated in everyday life. People quietly saved them. Why would ordinary Americans save a 50-cent coin for years? Was it because of silver, history, or something far more personal connected to Kennedy himself? The front of the coin carries Kennedy's left-facing portrait, designed by Gilroy Roberts. His expression looks calm, serious, almost distant. The words, "In God We Trust," sit beneath his neck, while liberty surrounds the upper edge. And near the bottom sits the year 1974, small yet powerful, silently marking a specific moment in American history. Now flip the coin over carefully. The reverse design was created by Frank Gasparo. An eagle spreads its wings across the center while holding arrows and an olive branch. Above the eagle appears a ring of stars surrounding a shield and rays of light. The design feels patriotic, strong, and deeply symbolic. Even the words half-dollar at the bottom carry weight, because fewer people today even use half-dollars anymore. But hidden details inside this design are what fascinate collectors most. Many people never notice the tiny texture in Kennedy's hair. Others completely miss the sharp feather details on the eagle. And on well-preserved coins, the small lines around the shield appear incredibly crisp under magnification. These tiny details separate ordinary worn coins from collectible higher-grade examples. Sometimes the smallest features create the biggest difference in value. And then there are the mint marks. This is where curiosity suddenly grows stronger. The 1974 Kennedy half-dollar was mainly struck in Philadelphia and Denver. Coins from Philadelphia carried no mint mark at all, but coins from Denver featured a small D mint mark near Kennedy's neck. At first glance, that tiny letter seems meaningless, yet collectors study it carefully because mint locations affect rarity, strike quality, and collector demand. Still, another question remains. Why do some 1974 half-dollars sell for only a few dollars, while others attract serious collector attention? The answer hides inside condition, and condition changes everything. Most 1974 half-dollars entered circulation and slowly became scratched, faded, or damaged through years of use. Coins bounced inside cash registers, pockets, vending machines, and bank bags. Edges wore down. Shiny surfaces disappeared. But every once in a while, a nearly untouched example survives. And when collectors find one, the excitement becomes very real. Professional grading companies examine these coins under strong lighting and magnification. They study scratches, shine, strike sharpness, and surface quality. A heavily worn coin may only be worth face value or slightly more, but a beautifully preserved, uncirculated coin can carry much stronger collector interest, especially when original mint luster still glows across the surface like frozen light from another decade. Some collectors spend years searching for the perfect Kennedy half-dollar, not because they expect instant riches, but because the coin represents something emotional, a preserved piece of American memory, a connection to the 1960s and 1970s, a reminder of how strongly a nation reacted after tragedy, and this emotional connection affects the market more than many people realize. Collectors are not only buying metal, they are buying stories. They are buying nostalgia. They are buying history they can physically hold in their hands. That psychological feeling is part of what keeps the Kennedy half-dollar alive decade after decade. Now imagine a quiet American household in 1974. A father returns home after work and empties change onto a kitchen table. Among the coins sits a bright Kennedy half-dollar. Maybe a child picks it up and stares at the eagle on the back. Maybe someone decides not to spend it. And without realizing it, they preserve that coin for the next 50 years. That is what makes coin collecting feel almost cinematic. Every old coin passes through unknown hands. Every scratch may carry a hidden journey. And every preserved coin silently witnesses history while saying absolutely nothing. The 1974 half-dollar also came during a difficult economic period in America. Inflation was rising. The country faced uncertainty after Vietnam and political tension following the Watergate scandal. Trust in leadership felt shaken, yet the image of Kennedy still remained on American coinage like a memory from a more hopeful era. That contrast gives this coin emotional depth many collectors feel immediately. But there is another fascinating detail most casual viewers overlook. By 1974, Kennedy half-dollars no longer contained silver for regular circulation strikes. Earlier, 1964 versions were 90% silver, while later special issues carried partial silver content. But standard 1974 circulation coins were copper nickel-clad pieces, and surprisingly, many people still saved them anyway. That proves the coin's emotional value often mattered more than silver itself. Today, millions of these coins still exist. You can sometimes find them in old family jars, estate collections, bank rolls, or forgotten drawers. Most are affordable and realistic for beginner collectors. That accessibility actually makes the coin more interesting because almost anyone could discover one unexpectedly. Still, condition remains king. Sharp, uncirculated examples with strong luster and minimal marks attract the most attention. Proof versions made for collectors also exist and usually display mirror-like surfaces and stronger detail. When light reflects across a beautiful proof Kennedy half-dollar, the coin almost looks alive for a moment. And maybe that is why people continue searching for these coins generation after generation, not because every coin is extremely rare, not because every piece is worth a fortune, but because certain objects somehow carry emotion beyond their physical value. The 1974 Kennedy half-dollar is one of those objects. It reminds people of a country trying to heal, a nation remembering a fallen president, a family saving a coin without knowing future generations would one day hold it again. So the next time you see a Kennedy half-dollar, do not dismiss it too quickly. Look carefully at the portrait. Study the eagle. Notice the tiny details hidden inside the design, because sometimes the most ordinary-looking coins carry the deepest human stories. And somewhere tonight, inside an old drawer or forgotten box, another 1974 half-dollar may still be waiting quietly in darkness, holding history in silence for the next person curious enough to truly see it.